Hey everybody, welcome to Brick Vault. Today is another LEGO Top 10 MOCs of the Week episode where I show you some cool custom creations I happen to find people building in LEGO bricks throughout the last week. Links to everybody I'm talking about and a whole lot more are in the description below as always, so if you want to check out some of these designers, the option is always there for you. The annual Black Friday / Cyber Monday sale has officially ended. Thank you all so much for your support. We and the designers we work with have a ton of fun putting together custom building instructions for you, and I'm lucky enough to fill my day with just figuring out the next awesome model to put together. There literally just aren't enough hours in the day. There are some absolutely awesome projects coming towards the end of this year and early next, so keep your eyes peeled. And now let's check out some honorable mentions of the week. MGF Customs has this Happy Thanksgiving photo. Miss Alana Builds calls this photo "Twas the night after Thanksgiving." I personally love the way that rocking chair was put together. Here's a pretty incredible angler fish from Nuvok Mock. They call it a Hokui fish, actually. Dan Coe titles this the Wish You Were Here model, and it's part of a build challenge using that little winder key piece. We have the Legacy of Belsavis Part 3 from Josta Brick, some excellent details. Shamisen Fred has a very strange and interesting shape for a ship, the Kabuto Hive Fighter. Johan Dakish calls this the Mag 1 Sky Car. This is a photo from a LEGO Expo. I can only assume the title is something like They Call Me Tim. Majqua has an interesting use of Technic lift arms that make up the side plating for the Seahorse truck. LEGO Wyrim's Alice Madness Returns model has some great shapes. Another awesome exosuit from Moko. And Shio titles this Simple Building, and there is a wonderful shape here. All right, let's jump now into the top 10 of the week. This first one here is a bust titled The Goblin from the builder Joe, or J&J Bricks. It reminds me a lot of some artwork I remember from an old Magic card, if I'm not mistaken. There's some great details for the eyes, the nose, the teeth. I like the hoopy earrings, and it is simply a complete and convincing version of a possibly life-size goblin, maybe a little smaller. Magmafrost 13 has titled this Black Hanakawa, and they claim that they started building this about 2 years ago and they finally completed it. Well, good job, because the figure looks great, the pose is quite animate, and there seem to be some pretty interesting and strange techniques used to get these shapes to align up. I personally like the technique for the bangs in the hair, and the arms behind the head does not look like an easy pose to pull off in any circumstance, really. This is quite a lot of interesting parts put together for a fun combination. The button nose is also a nice touch. And number 8 next up on the list is from the designer First Order Lego. They've got an interesting, almost monochrome design, but with a tasteful and purposeful splash of color at the base. This is titled Painting the World, and it is a gigantic Lego bonsai tree built in mostly gray. The wheel pieces make up a lot of the leaf detailing, which adds for a fun texture. And then right at the base of the tree along the coastline, you can see just a bit of color starting to get added to this universe. It makes you think that perhaps this is in fact a massive tree where a whole town really is built on the edge of it. The builder has a full YouTube video dedicated to the creation of this particular project, and there's just a lot of excellent texture both for the base of the bonsai container. In fact, the feet are made of Death Star pieces, and the color for the town, when you do see it, pops incredibly well against this largely gray backdrop. And now we've got just a great little Facets Viper build from the designer David Roberts. This builder had a fun, relatively simple idea of adding that great striped snake color combo that you've seen, but now translated as a paint job for a small ship. I think it works really well. The design for the ship itself has a fun set of hinge details that create the triangular shapes for the front for the guns, and it also kind of coincides with the angles for the wings, or the extensions on the sides. And now we're moving on to a model that I know I've shown work in progress pics before in the past, but it is finally complete. From Remco Rohaan, this is the Regiment Collab MOC. There's a rather large universe built around this scene that we have here, but needless to say, it's a fun fantasy universe with a huge stone, a fortress on top, some awesome detailing for a waterfall that comes out the side, and the whole thing is totally lit up. This huge stone resting in the lake looks like a somewhat impossible scene with the endless amount of water coming out of the side. I like that he actually lit up the white water at the bottom to really make this area pop really well. And now that I'm looking closer at some of the characters, maybe the most impressive feat for this entire build is he managed to get some of those Clone Wars face prints to look pretty darn good contextually. Number 5 on the list is a fun scene from Harry Potter that you don't see recreated too much in Lego bricks. This is the Moaning Myrtle bathroom, and I see in the notes here version 2. So if I'm not mistaken, this is, I think, the potion where they're trying to change their body shapes, their identities, so they can do some reconnaissance. So you've got Ron, Harry, Hermione mixing some potions on the bathroom floor. Moaning Myrtle's up there at the top, and we have some awesome builds for windows, bathroom stalls. It's all candlelit, which is kind of fun, natural lighting. Here's another excellent scene from GorillaGluedLEGO. The title is Diaca Glasim, and that is the SigFig depicted in this larger area. You don't usually see the Bith species alien not playing music in the Star Wars universe, but this character is a bit of a scoundrel and plays by their own rules. I like the build itself for the character. You have the Greedo arms, which pops quite well. The side attached cape where it goes through the armhole is also a nice touch to really outline some personality for the character. But then so much more of the personality for this scene really is within this environment that surrounds him. There are some interesting flower shapes used with levers, tons of greebling. I think that's probably my favorite bit. The water evaporator looks like it's been repaired one too many times. There's a lot of junk that outline what could be a pretty nice and serene natural beauty area. We're seeing familiar shapes on the structure, kind of like a Tatooine building, but it seems to be set within a rockier tropical jungle area. And I just like that so much of the universe has been fleshed out so incredibly well for just this single shot. Moving now into the final 3, we have an incredibly impressive model from Fraser, Ratzlaff. This is Arcan Castle. There's so much to point out here. It really is kind of a lot to take in for a single Lego creation. The turtle shape itself is built with just colorful plate details. I don't think there's a single brick, in fact, built into this whole area. It's speckled with so many different dots of color, makes it incredibly strong, but also adds for a wholly unique texture between the underwater details that we have at the base, and of course the bright white castle details for the top. The turtle itself rotates, and the 2 big fins have a sort of swimming motion as well. So there's some mechanical movements built into this area. Tons of fun details for sea life at the bottom, some awesome scenes and characters created for the castle at the top. Remember, I've left links to everybody in the comments below. If you do have extra time, I highly recommend you check out some of the designer pages to get some more details. And now we've got a wonderful scene from The Last of Us Part 2, where you can see some zombies down below and a couple of the main characters on a horse in the now overgrown, abandoned remnants of a previous lived-in world. You've got some great vine and plant detailing growing up the side of the building, and a surprising amount of business and office details can be seen through the windows as well. It's a subtle thing to notice when you're looking at this model, but it really adds to the overall completeness. Daniel Barwegen is the designer for this particular build, and now we're jumping on to the last model from Markus Rollbuhler. This is Bridgetown. There's a lot to take in for this particular model. We have some great cylindrical shapes that make up the arcing base of the bridge. The entire bridge base itself for the town is curved, which is super impressive. And then you have some unique different building shapes that are rooted at the top. There's a great variety of different colors and different building styles. Even for the rooftop designs, they're all different for the creations here, the different building creations. And there's a wonderful amount of fantasy and action also built in, with somebody retrieving a chest from the ocean. Another kid seems to be flying a kite, laundry hanging on a line. The whole model seems to be incredibly colorful and bright, despite the fact, or perhaps maybe even accentuated by the fact, that it is on a gray ocean with a gray dark sky background for it. Really cool creation. These are my personal favorite top 10 MOCs of the week. Links to everybody I'm talking about and more, like always, are in the description below. If you enjoy our content, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, share, and we'll see you next time at Brick Vault.